All right, folks, welcome in. And if you are here, then you know that, well, we have an answer as to who the Rams will face if they take care of business tomorrow, which they should, obviously. They should do it because if they do, they're going to be playing at SoFi Stadium. And look, I think a lot of people are expecting this to be a kind of, flaunting and poking fun at the Lions fans type of show. But to be honest with you, I don't really care. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I am so dead focused on tomorrow's game, Rams and Eagles. I don't give a rip that this is happening and this is happening. I just want them to win this damn game. I feel like they right now are the best team in the NFC. They win unconventionally. They don't score as much as other teams. But look, the Commanders still gave up a lot of points today, right? And I think the Rams defense matters. But then I think, when you're playing in late January, I think having a really good defense, but also having a quarterback that has experience, having a head coach that has experience winning it all. And only Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay have that. So, yeah, I know some of you are bummed to an extent because, well, let's just face it. You're bummed because you wanted revenge on the Lions. That's just, I know a lot of people want revenge on the Lions. I know also a lot of people rooting against the Lions in this game because they just can't stand them. I'll speak on that. If you are a Lions fan here, welcome. If you're wondering why so many Rams fans were rooting against you, it had nothing to do with the fact that the Lions won that game. It's what came after. Whether you were one of the fans doing it or not, a lot of Rams fans were harassed, and it was just nasty stuff on social media from Lions fans last year. And Rams fans didn't forget it. And I think there are a lot of other fan bases that went through the same thing. So that's what that was all about. It has nothing to do with the Lions beating the Rams. This is a fan base that graciously can take a loss. It wasn't that bad when the Rams lost their first, wild card game, Sean McVay's first playoff game against the Falcons. People were not cussing Falcons fans out or anything like that because Falcons fans really weren't the issue. And you're saying there's static coming from my microphone. Awesome. Well, we love that. There's always something, man. I swear. Let's see if we can fix it. All right. Is that better? Or maybe is that better? Anyway, hopefully it is. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Okay, cool. So, look, I just think when it comes to this game, and keep in mind, I had the Commanders winning this game. And I know there are a lot of people, again, that would have expected me to pick the Lions, want the rematch in the playoffs. I got to be honest with you, the more and more I thought about it, I just don't care about the rematch. I don't. It is what it is. The Lions can have those games. They play in SoFi next year. I just could not care any less because at the end of the day, all I care about is that the Rams win, go to the Super Bowl, and win another Super Bowl. That's all I care about. I don't care who they do it against. I already got into that. I've told you guys this many times when I rooted for the New England Patriots to beat the Chiefs because I wanted revenge from 17 years to the date, losing to that Patriots team, losing to Tom Brady. I just rooted for my team to lose. Would they have beaten the Chiefs? I don't know, but they didn't beat the Patriots. I rooted for my own demise. I will never do that again. And so look, I did end up rooting for the Commanders. It had nothing to do with wanting to play them. It had nothing to do with not wanting to play the Lions. I rooted for the Commanders because they're fun to watch. They're likable. I have literally said over and over again, Dan Quinn leaving the Cowboys is the reason the Cowboys were as bad as they were. And they look ridiculous now moving on from Mike McCarthy when they should have just moved on from last year if they were going to do this and promoted Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is one of the more disrespected coaches in football. And so when I was making my predictions this year and going over all these teams, I kept looking at the Commanders as a team. I think they're going to, have a really interesting season. I had them at 9-8. I thought they'd be just outside the playoffs. I had them initially. I went back on my word, but I said this is the sleeper team in the NFC. No doubt about it. When you look at what they added, it's not just a young team because they drafted Jaden Daniels. They have veterans all over the place. And when you have that much veteran leadership and presence, like a Bobby Wagner, like Frankie Louvu, like the guys in the interior that have developed on this team, like a Daron Payne and a Jonathan Allen, then you add Dante Fowler Jr., Dorrance Armstrong Jr., Tyler Biotish, you add Wiley from the Chiefs, have guys that have really developed, like Sam Cosmi, who unfortunately went down with an injury, looks like their best player on the offensive line. Zach Ertz, Terry McLaurin, who's developed on this team, Austin Eckler. When you add these players, you are adding guys that have experience that can basically guide the young players in the direction of success when their best is required. And that's what I think we've seen. In addition to that, we've also seen a quarterback that is just above and beyond the call of duty, and that is Jaden Daniels. Daniels is incredible. And the reason he's incredible is I don't even care about his legs, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Don't even care about his running ability. Do you know why Jaden Daniels is so much better than Jared Goff? Because unlike Jared Goff tonight, Jaden Daniels is unflappable. You cannot throw him off. He's always calm, cool, collected. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes left to go in the game or the first 2 minutes of the game. This guy always keeps his composure. He's never too high, never too low. He's always this. So if the Rams do face him, it's not going to be a walk in the park, okay? This isn't just an automatic go to the Super Bowl, okay? That's not what this is. This is a really good football team, and this goes back to what I was saying when I said if I could play anybody, I'm not trying to play the Commanders in the first round. People kept talking about that, like, man, look, people keep talking about that. They do. They keep talking about the fact that, the Rams not playing week 18. I hope it doesn't come back to bite them. And all I'm thinking is, okay, well, if that happened, then they probably would have gotten eliminated against the Commanders because I think that was the worst team to play in the first round. At least now you've seen some tape from Jaden Daniels. You've seen some tape from the Commanders, how they're going to operate, in the postseason. And I like their chances more. They probably would have beaten the Commanders. They probably would have. But I'm just saying that was probably the worst matchup to just essentially not see anything that they've done in the postseason and play them out of the gate. That would have been a problem. So they end up playing the Vikings. And look, the Vikings, not an easy team. Won 14 games, really good team. Rams found a way to win. And boy, did they find a way to win. They dominated. So now, tomorrow, if they want to go back to SoFi Stadium and host the NFC Championship game and play the Commanders to go to the Super Bowl, which, by the way, history, if it does repeat itself here, it doesn't repeat itself all the way, because if it did, the Texans would be going to the Super Bowl against the Rams, the 4 versus the 4 seed, Rams, Bengals, of course, the last time, Super Bowl 56. But if history is repeating itself again, mind you, Super Bowl 56, the pathway. The Rams beat a team on Monday Night Wild Card. They beat the Cardinals, okay? They beat a team on Monday Night Wild Card that they played earlier in the year, okay? So they beat the Cardinals, and then in the divisional round, they beat a team in the divisional round. They beat a 2 seed, okay? So they beat a 2 seed as the 4 seed, like they're playing tomorrow against the Eagles. And then in the championship game, they played the 6-seeded 49ers at SoFi Stadium as the 4 seed. So if that is indeed what ends up happening, history did just repeat itself. We might get Rams Chiefs, we might get Rams Bengals, we might get Rams Ravens. But the hope is that we just get the Rams. That's it. And tomorrow, I think the Rams are equipped to win this game. I really do. I believe in this football team. I really think this defense, this isn't just a fluke. This is a defense that was young, that went through growing pains and got better and better and better over the course of the season. They also made adjustments when they got Darius Williams off of IR. They moved on from Trey White. They started Akello Witherspoon. You saw the development from a lot of these guys. They were not afraid to put in Omar Speights after Troy Reeder went down instead of going out and maybe acquiring somebody at the deadline. And it's led to this. And then you look at the offense and you're like, man, doesn't it feel like they're due? Like, I mean, not saying they're going to shred the Eagles in the snow tomorrow, but doesn't it feel like they're due? Doesn't it feel like their best is yet to come? Because I just feel like you look at that Bills game and you see the potential there. 37 offensive points scored against the Bills in that game. And it's a reminder of what this team can truly do. And it's like, man, I don't know. I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if the Rams come out tomorrow and just gash the Eagles with zone runs, which they did in week 12. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyron has a huge game. I wouldn't be surprised if this defense gets to Jalen Hurts. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams won comfortably. Now, I think it's going to be down to the wire. I think I'm probably going to need, to be chill because my heart is going to explode. But man, I really feel like this is their path. And look, people can look at, well, they only won 10 games. I don't care. They won 10 of the last 13, 10 of the last 12, if we're talking about games that mattered. I trust this team. I do. After the Eagles, they didn't lose another game that mattered. Now they play the Eagles again. And I said, the Eagles have a lot of things. They're well-rounded. But let's not get it twisted. The Eagles are probably the better team. They probably have more talent. They probably are well-rounded, but more well-rounded. But at the same time, acting like the Eagles are this juggernaut, acting like Nick Sirianni isn't 3-3 in the postseason, and Sean McVay isn't 8-4 in the postseason, acting like Matthew Stafford isn't 19-3 in games where he's played in December, January, and February, acting like Puka Nacua is probably the worst matchup in this game possible in the snow because he plays with this level of physicality that wide receivers don't play with, acting like this defense, last 4 of the 5 games, they have held teams to under 10 points, is a David and you're a Goliath, is stupid beyond all measure. I took the Rams 24-23. I took the Commanders 34-31. I took the Chiefs 22-17. And I took the Bills 31-30. So far, I'm 2-0. I haven't quite gotten... I don't think I've ever gotten a perfect score. I don't think I've ever nailed the score correctly. I don't know. I don't do that because I kind of go for like the exact. I don't normally just take 17-20 or 17-13 or whatever. I normally try to go exact and have like a 22-17, whatever. But this feels like a 24-23 ball game. This feels like a game that, I agree. I see in the comment section, Eagles are overconfident. I mean, maybe not the Eagles, but the media, the fans, I think they're going to feed off that in not a good way. And I think people are going to sleep on the Rams. And you know why? Because they're just going to look at the Vikings game and they're going to be like, Vikings were fraud. They're not that good. We already beat them. I'm just saying, you got to play the Rams. You better hope to God they're not that good because I believe they are. I think the Matthew Stafford 1-8 bullshit is way, way, way ridiculous. Yeah, man, I've seen a lot of just disrespect towards the Rams and how they got here. And again, people are like, they only won 10 games. They were hurt for the majority of the season. What that team is what they've shown the last 13, and they've won 10 of those. So to be fair, this is a team that is really good, okay? And I don't care what anyone says. I would not want to face this team, just like I wouldn't want to face the Commanders if I was any other team. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think tomorrow is going to be tough, but I think tomorrow the Rams are going to win. And I think they're going to win in the snow, and you can't take anything away from them. And I think they'll be ready at SoFi, and I think they're going to beat a really good Washington Commanders team. And I don't care about jinxing. There were a bunch of people dropping comments. You can't post that they're going to play the Eagles if they win because you're jinxing it. No, I'm not jinxing it. Me in upstate New York, I have nothing to do with the outcome of this game. Okay? We got to be honest with ourselves. I have nothing to do with it. It's all on them. If they lose, they lost. I have nothing to do with it. I will say, I have to give them a lot of credit. If this is the last game that we cover this season, it's been awesome. And I can't stress this enough. This team did such a great job to get to this point. So regardless of what happens tomorrow, I have a lot of respect for this organization. I have a lot of respect for this team, the way they rallied, the way they carried LA on their shoulders. And man, they can keep going. They can do this. They really can. And so I feel good about it, man. I really do. Do I feel as good as the Vikings game? I don't know. I mean, the Vikings game, it was in a confined space and everything. Being outside in Philly, things can happen. There's always the threat of like a fumble when you're dominating the game. I mean, we saw today, it looked like it was going to be a shootout, and then, Goff throws a pick and all, things can happen. So I don't want to be so ridiculous here where I'm saying, yeah, I feel better about this game than I did against the Vikings, because that's not true. I got to be honest with you. I felt really good about the Vikings game. Really good. No one was going to change my mind on that. I was like, there's no way in hell the Rams are losing on this night to the Vikings. They might lose next week. There's no way they're losing the Vikings. I felt very good about that. This game I feel good about, okay? If they get past this game, I think they're going to the Super Bowl. I already think they are, but that would really obviously be the icing on the cake there. We got super chats I want to get to. I also see HD asking about mailbag. Yes, I will be staying up late to do mailbag, so you guys have something to chew on throughout tomorrow's wait, because tomorrow you don't have a game at noon or anything like that, a game at 1. You have a game at 3, which is our game. So here's how it's going to go down. I'm going to do mailbag tonight. I'm going to post it. You'll have it for tomorrow morning. You'll be able to go through it, watch it. It's probably going to be an hour, something long. You guys are awesome. You continue to give me mailbag questions, and I appreciate that. I also want to, before we get into super chats, I want to turn your attention real quick to our sponsor today, which is Prize Picks. And over on Prize Picks, I have created a lineup here that I feel is going to net you money, okay? If you want to sign up today, you can use my code JKBogan. It's going to get you $50 instantly when you play at least a $5 lineup. And I got that $5 lineup for you. You guys ready for it? Here we go. You can win $125 if you play this. So, okay, win or lose, you're going to get $50 instantly. Will Howard, okay, Monday is the championship game against Notre Dame. No brainer. Will Howard is going to get you at least 1 yard, and he's going to get you this freebie, essentially. So then you have 5 more. So what are the 5 going to be? Well, I really love Demarcus Robinson here. He just needs 19 receiving yards, and I think he's going to get it. I think Stafford has relied on him at moments on third down, chain moving. I think they're going to throw it more than people realize. I'm going to take Demarcus Robinson. I love this low number here. I'm going to take him to have an explosive play. One explosive play in this game is all that matters, or just, a collection of catches. But he just needs like one 20-yard catch, which he seems to get almost every game that he's targeted and catches the ball. I like 19 yards here for Demarcus Robinson. Next up, I like Kyren Williams to have more than 75.5 rushing yards. I know there's a threat of the fumble. I think that's why they're actually going to throw it more than people realize. But Kyren Williams had a lot of success on the ground against the Eagles. Fumbles, all fumbles concerned and everything in week 12. Kyren Williams is going to have more success on the ground. That zone run scheme, that is going to attack the Eagles. They've been running more zone runs than gap runs earlier in the year. I think it's going to go to Kyron's benefit, and I think he's going to have a good game. Then I like Puka Nacua. I love the receiving yards, but I got to be honest with you. How do you not take his rushing yards? Puka Nacua is going to run. This is the type of game I would give it to Puka Nacua 10 rushes in this game if I have to. Make sure he has the ball, because the bottom line is if this guy is carrying the football and you're having to bring him down, that's already bone crushing enough. Do you know how hard that is going to hit when he's, running down head full of steam and everything, and you're talking about this guy in the freezing cold, in the snow, and you have to tackle him, I don't care, okay? Give me Puka Nacua. 3 rushing yards is all it takes. I'll take that. Tyler Higbee, look, Stafford's a veteran. Young quarterbacks tend to lean on their safety nets, but Tyler Higbee was leaned on big time to start the game last week. He doesn't even carry an injury designation this week. He's good to go. And this is the type of game, using him to move the chains, those tight end screens. I think we're going to see some things. Higbee is going to be a key component for this offense. Make no mistake about it. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to be a focal point in this offense after Puka Nacua and Kyren Williams. So give me Tyler Higbee to have at least 28 yards in this game. And Dallas Goedert is going to catch 4 passes in this one. They are going to force feed guys like Dallas Goedert. They've watched. Rams have struggled to defend the tight ends. We saw it with TJ Hawkinson. We saw it, of course, with Trey McBride. Tight ends have eaten against the Rams defense. It's about the only thing that has eaten against the Rams defense. I feel like that's more by design because you can give that guy up, but then we take this guy away. So I think Dallas Goedert gets 4 receptions. So there you go there. And the last but not least thing, I just want to, guide your attention over to this, okay? So shout out, I got Chef Chris, Matthew Stafford's personal chef, on my latest episode of The Lounge. If you guys haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to The Lounge. It would mean a ton to me. I'm really trying to grow this thing. I'm committed to it. It is never going to get into the way of what I'm doing as far as the Ram stuff, but we actually found a way to almost add on to it today with having Chef Chris, Matthew Stafford's personal chef. You won't even believe some of the things that you get from that. It's a 2-hour episode, so you need to kill 2 hours of time tomorrow. Bookmark that. Subscribe to the channel. I'm telling you, it is already set to be our biggest episode yet. 121 views in 3 hours, which is crazy for this brand new channel. Chef Chris breaks it all down. To give you a little bit of a preview here, he comes on and he did a review, or not review. He gave some stories about his time, obviously being with Stafford and whatnot. And he talks about the Super Bowl party last year and the type of stuff like Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford were saying. Man, you guys will absolutely love it. If you've been kind of balking at the idea of checking out The Lounge and I love Jake, but I need my Rams content from Jake. I don't need all that other stuff. This is the most Ram-centric video you are probably going to see on The Lounge. So be sure to check it out. I'm going to put it in the description. Oh, it already is in the description. I'm going to put it in the comment section pinned. Be sure to check it out. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Chef Chris is awesome. We talk Stafford. We both predicted the Commanders would upset the Lions. We talk Super Bowl. He thinks the Rams are going back to the Super Bowl. He thinks they're going to win it for LA. So we talked about all that great stuff. He's actually going to, right now, he's probably on his way to Philly for the game tomorrow. So awesome stuff. Definitely check it out. But guys, look, I really do want, sorry, we got to get to super chats. My bad. That's on me. That's on me. Edwin, thank you so much for the 10. Jake, you are much stronger than me. I've been trolling Lions fans all night. They deserve it from booing Kirby. Kirby disrespecting Stafford after everything he did for that city. Screw that. Hey, I hear you, man. I had my fun on Twitter. It is what it is. I am so fortunate to be in the position I'm in right now. Like, I have you guys. I can go live, spur the moment after this game and have over 600 people in here. And this isn't a post-Rams game stream, So the idea that, we're almost at, this is crazy, right? This is absolutely crazy. So we're having, and you guys wouldn't know this, because I don't know if there's probably no way for you guys to check it, but we are having one of the biggest months in this channel's history, okay? Absolutely killing it this month. It's been wild. Just with YouTube shorts and videos and all this stuff, we're over 150,000 views in the last 48 hours, all right? So that's crazy. And for 2025 so far, good Lord, I can't even talk. We have 500,000 views right now. Okay? 500,000 views. So I don't care. If Lions fans want to be upset with me, they can. I am so blessed to be in the position I am in. I get to watch Rams football tomorrow in the postseason. They beat the Vikings in a game that was just so special to all of us. You know, I was able to use my platform for good and actually make a difference. I've gotten to know all these people. I'm getting to interview, you know, people like Heavy Spoilers. I had Ariel Epstein on my show, Lucky Witherspoon, now Chef Chris. I started a brand new show. I got Yankees Unloaded. What do I have to be complaining about when it comes to these people? They are trolls on the internet that are insufferable because their lives are probably insufferable. They're projecting their negative, just disgusting energy out on people, and they're trying to get me to bite on it. Why would I care? I'm living my life, and I'm living it to the fullest, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. And if that means the Rams lose tomorrow, then so be it. I'll be on here. I'll be upset. I'll be disappointed. But I'll be here to tell you it's going to be okay. We'll be back next year, and I'll break it all down. But at the same time, you bet your ass I'll be here rocking the shades if they win. I'll be rocking the shades. We'll be celebrating, and we'll be talking about how they're one win away from going back to the Super Bowl. So that's the way it is here. I'm not going to care about those people any longer. They tried to review bomb every single podcast I do. They doxed my home address. They have tried to ruin me. They even, you know, put my, you could argue, I mean, they put my my livelihood in jeopardy. You know, they tried to get me fired from jobs. Like, they tried to get sponsors canning me, like straight up lying about me. That's on them. I'm blessed. I got you guys. I mean, I have no reason to give two rippity doo-dahs about that team, about that fan base. I do not care. So, sorry, Lions fans. I'm unflappable now. You cannot break me. Anyway, we move on. Alex, double X Alex, my guy. I'm so pissed we lost the trade and all we've gotten out of it is a stupid Super Bowl victory. Oh, man. Appreciate you. Zaylor Swift, thank you for the 5. Well, Coach Campbell's 2-week prediction came true. Lions need to eat some humble pie. Come on, YouTube, show me. They're screwed next season, LOL. Yeah, if they lose Ben Johnson, that ain't going to be great. That ain't going to be great. Anyway, that's not our problem. Mike A., thank you for the 5. Getting strong, 2021 vibes. 6 seed beats the 1 to give the Rams home championship game, assuming we beat Philly. We are the team of destiny this year. Yeah, they got to beat Philly. They got to take care of business. We know they can, but they got to do it, right? Because anybody can win any given game. That's the thing that Lions fans forgot. I don't want to focus on them at all, but yeah, this was playing the Commanders wasn't a gimme. It wouldn't be a gimme if the Rams played them. This is a really good football team. Like, I'm watching Jaden Daniels make throws that only really Stafford has made in the playoffs. Did you see that throw off his back foot? I know Diami Brown dropped it, but dude, he gets like full face. He gets a face full of blitz. He's got like 3 or 4 guys about to destroy him, and he just throws immediately off his back foot. No hesitation whatsoever, you know, throws it right in the bucket. And of course, Diami Brown dropped it, but it was an incredible throw. So it just incredible. Like, that's the type of player you're talking about. You're talking about a rookie that's playing like he's a 10-year vet. I mean, Austin Eckler's playing his best ball he's played since he was like scoring touchdowns at a ridiculous clip. And, you know, Terry McLaurin, happy for him. He's played with nobody around him. Now he gets, you know, a great quarterback in Jaden Daniels, and he's having a great career, great season, career season. You get an offensive line that really struggles, but at the same time, you know, they're still able to block up some holes for this running game. Brian Robinson had a really good game today. Defense, you know, Luvu and Wagner and, oh my God, Kansas Jayhawk, Dorrance Armstrong Jr. stepped up in a big way today. And how about Mikey Sainer still? Right? The rookie out of Michigan. They have a really good team. The good news is if the Rams do get knocked out today or, this upcoming day, tomorrow, or they get knocked out by the Commanders are so likable, I'll be okay. I can live with that. And I'll tell you right now, if the Commanders play the Chiefs, all of America will be rooting for the Commanders. We will all be Commanders. There's no doubt about it. No one wants the Chiefs to win except for Chiefs fans. They have become the Patriots. It is kind of, I kind of feel bad because the Chiefs have literally stopped the 49ers from winning 2 Super Bowls and we're hating on them. It's kind of hard to do. I rooted for them like they were my own team in the Super Bowl last year. Man, I don't know. Anyway, Matthew, thank you for the 20. Damn, Jake, I'm kind of torn. Love the fact the Lions are one and done. On the other hand, this Washington team kind of scares me. If we can beat Philly and play them, Your mic was popping, but I think you fixed it. Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate that. Mike A, thank you for the 5. Once the Rams get up on the Eagles, their fans are going to turn on them. Philly fans are quick to boo the team when things start going bad. That's so silly. Can you imagine that? Yeah, we need you guys. We're down here. And they're like, boo. Like, I also hate booing. I'll never do it. I've already said this a million times, but I just don't like it. Fly by Night. Love the name. Thank you for the 5. And the super sticker is a laughing. Is that a Shiba Inu or is that a fox? I can't tell. Either way, it's funny. Oh, is it a lion? No, it's not a lion. That'd be hilarious if you hit me with a laughing lion. Temple Hills Funk, thank you for the 5. I'd love to see Rams show different formations tomorrow, like jumbo packages outside of short yardage downs and running the ball from 4 receiver sets. Totally agree. Give me that jumbo formation I've been begging for, okay? Like, give me Jonah Jackson now. I want to see 6 offensive linemen. I want to see it. I need to see it, folks. Give me that jumbo package. Give me Jonah Jackson. Give me that beef up front. If you want to put, Puka Nacua in the backfield and hand it off to him, quite literally hand it off to him like he's a running back, I'm all for it. Tomorrow, you are playing a different brand of football. Like, that's the thing. We'll see what ends up happening, y'all, but I'm just saying, like, I would love to see that. I thought there were a lot of plays today, especially the ones that Ben Johnson drew up for the Lions. That one where, like, they handed off. It was, like, Gibbs, and then he shoveled it to, who'd he shovel it to? Amon-Ra. I'd love to see them do that. Hand it off to Kyron Williams, and then he shovels it to Puka. Man, I did hold him, but as you know, I don't give a rip about calling anything. If the Rams don't win, then as far as I'm concerned, calling the first, day of, out of 2 of the playoffs means nothing. I just don't care. Oh yeah, Goff got depleted. Yeah, and I got to be honest with you. When it comes to Jared Goff, I mean, I don't mean to, kick somebody when they're down, but this is why the Rams moved on. I mean, in the nicest way possible, he's a good quarterback. He's really good. He can do a lot of things. But Jared Goff is the guy when things are going well. Like, if you give him the right car, he can take it into the winner's circle. But if he has to overcome any sort of issues, and I know this is a weird NASCAR analogy. I don't know. It just works. You've seen those NASCAR drivers where if everything goes well and they don't need to hit pit road multiple times, they can keep the lead. They can, hang on to the lead. They can, outrace anybody. But when, you do have those pit stops, you have those penalties, and, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we didn't screw in your tire or whatever. You got to come back to pit road, or, oh yeah, there's something with the chassis. You need a chassis adjustment, whatever, right? When you have to go back into pit road, make those, adjustments, and now you are a lap behind, Like, that's when the best racers show their worth. And that's where I feel like in this analogy, Matthew Stafford is the guy I would trust, where if he has to go into pit road when everybody else is out on the track, right? I trust him to go in, get the adjustments needed on that vehicle, get back out there, catch back up to the pack, and start passing everybody and get to the winner's circle, get to the finish line and win. Goff is not that quarterback. Goff is the guy where, all right, my pit crew, the game plan before and everything needs to be in order, because if anything gets out of order, it doesn't matter that you won the first stage or the second stage, because you are not coming to the winner's circle if you're a guy that has to keep going in and getting, pit stop here and pit stop here. And that is just the reality of the situation. Guys like that are still good NASCAR drivers. Guys like Goff are still good quarterbacks. But you know what? This is why Jared Goff has not won a Super Bowl. This is why they didn't win last year. And this is why they didn't win this year. Because when his best is required, he can give it to you. But his best just simply isn't enough when he isn't in the best spot. And so Jared Goff, whether you can say it was the hit that jarred him or what, when he started getting pressure and he wasn't able to play with the lead, there wasn't really much of a chance. So, and you gotta, Lions fans will say, well, we lost because we beat ourselves. I think that's BS, because that takes away the credit that the Commanders deserve. The Commanders had a great game plan for Jared Goff. They knew they were going to give up tons of points. They also knew that Cliff Kingsbury and that offense was going to put up a ton of points. So it didn't matter. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're going to score points, whatever. Yeah, but we're also going to put up points. And so that was the thing, is that they played within the confines of their strength, their system, the way they play their brand of football. And that's the thing about the Rams, is that when you watch them against the Vikings, they played to their strengths. They play the way they play. Tomorrow could very well be a 14-10 ball game where the Rams just bleed the clock. Rams pick up hard-nosed first downs. They let the clock run. They take the play clock down to the 5-second, mark, and they just keep hammering that. It could very well be that style of game. So we'll see. But I agree with you. I'm not dancing on the Lions' grave. I feel better now, because if the Rams do go down tomorrow, I can root for the Commanders like they're my own and feel good about it. Like, I really like Dan Quinn. So even if the Commanders beat the Rams, I still have so much respect for them and what they've done in such a short amount of time. They were a dumpster fire. Dan Snyder was the worst owner in professional football. And what they have turned themselves into, Josh Harris and, Peters, the GM, and Kingsbury, what he's doing as an offensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, the guys they brought in, you just got to tip your cap to what they've done. Jaden Daniels, forgotten about at Arizona State, transfers to LSU, plays a really, really good season. I mean, it's cool to see. It's really cool to see. You like to see new teams. That's why we like the NFL. I mean, we like it for the parity as well as a lot of other things. The parity does matter. This is parity. To get the Lions and Commanders to go to the NFC title game is parity, right? To get the Rams and Eagles, is that really parity? I mean, I guess based on last year and maybe 2022. But this is the point, though. This is what, you get that parity. We've had Bills and Ravens, or guys in there, but like the Texans now, you're starting to see more teams emerge, which is good. It's not the same teams. We're not seeing the 49ers every time. We're not seeing, the Patriots every time. Yes, there are cycles. I'll tell you right now, there is not a better setup team than the Rams as far as their head coach is concerned. To have Sean McVay, you have to feel good about the future there. Anyway, James Hernandez, thank you for the 5. San Bernardino and the whole Inland Empire where I'm from is going crazy for Jaden Daniels. If the Rams don't make it, I hope this kid goes all the way. Yeah, he's very likable, and you could just tell he's not full of shit and all that. Like, this guy goes out there and, I don't know. I think that's... I love that. So, Nate, you guys talk about Detroit's coach, say, I'll see you in 2 weeks, and then Jake makes this foolish headline, you just jinxed them. Well, Nate, let me let you in on something. I made that same exact headline. You know how I know? Because I quite literally copied and pasted it and just changed some things around last week when people said I jinxed it against the Vikings. Newsflash, I don't jinx anything. I don't play for the team. There's nothing I do here in upstate New York that has any bearing on the LA Rams. Nothing. There's nothing I do here. So the whole jinxing thing, let's just get that out of the way now. That isn't real. That's not a real thing. None of us have any control. They're going to win the game based on the fact that they play football or whatever. Like, if they play their best football game, they're going to win. It's ridiculous to think anything else. It just is. I'm sorry. Like, come on. I understand people like their superstitions. Fine. I have nothing to do with them. We've already proven this. How many times have we proven this, chat? When it was like, I had never seen the Rams win when I was sick, and then I doubled it up, and the Rams had never won when I did during the regular season. When I did a watch party, they were like 0-4. Didn't we see that, guys? We saw that, right? Against the Vikings week 8 when I was sick and did a watch party. They had never won in either. And then they won by 10. And they actually pretty much outplayed the Vikings the whole way through. But yes, the jinxing, totally. Absolutely. Or how about this? What if I told you I made the Super Bowl video when I broke down all the haters and I just had a compilation of my stuff and everything that I said about the Rams and why they were going to win the Super Bowl the year they won the Super Bowl. And I started, pointing the finger at everybody across all mainstream media saying the Rams are going to lose to Kyler Murray. The Rams were going to lose to Tom Brady. The Rams couldn't beat Joe Burrow. They were going to lose to Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers. I quite literally made that video right before the Super Bowl, and I scheduled it to drop after the Super Bowl. I knew it was going to happen. Nothing I did, if that didn't jinx it, I don't know what would. If there was even such a thing as jinxing, I'm not kidding you guys. Ask anybody that's close to me. I made that Super Bowl video that was making fun of everyone that doubted the Rams throughout the whole year. And I posted it. I literally scheduled it to post after the Super Bowl. So, it's funny. But anyway, jinxing isn't real. Young Forever. Appreciate the 2. Washington versus Baltimore would be so fire, though. I mean, yeah. Washington versus anybody is going to be a good game. I hope we got that straight after today, right? Washington just makes any game fun. Like, you want to Washington, well, okay. I don't know why. I don't think the Chiefs play that fun of a game. Like, I know Patrick Mahomes has his crazy, throws and whatnot, but I don't know. I personally, the Chiefs are the most boring team left in the playoffs. Am I wrong? Like, definitely the most boring team left in the playoffs. They might win it all, but man, they're not a fun watch. So I feel like the Rams are fun. Washington is a blast to watch. They are such a fun team. The Ravens are fun. The Bills are so much fun. Watching Josh Allen, but like the Eagles are fun to watch. Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They got a lot of studs on the defensive side. The Chiefs are not fun. They're not at all fun to watch. They drag every game down to the wire, but they don't have they don't dominate. Like the Rams, their offense might not always look perfect, but their running back is so consistent, Kyren Williams. They have Puka Nacua, who's way more exciting than anybody on the Chiefs, aside from maybe Mahomes. But I think people are just tired of Mahomes. And this is what happens. Like, when you win a lot, this is what happens. But, man, I really do believe that. I think if you get Washington in the Super Bowl, or you get the Rams, I think you're fine. The NFL has to feel good about the remaining 7. Okay, you have to feel good about the remaining 7 if you're the NFL. Anyone that is worth salt, and is worth anything that they talk about in the NFL knows that these are the best 7 teams remaining, and this is how it is supposed to be. Or excuse me, 6. I keep saying 7. I know the Lions lost. So yeah, 6. These 6 remaining teams, you would be fine with any of them in the Super Bowl. I mean, the Chiefs are, again, that it's kind of annoying. They're not that fun to watch, but at the same time, they're going for a 3-peat. That's an exciting thing. That is a storyline. The Eagles, potential Eagles-Chiefs rematch. That's a storyline. Washington, what is this, 34 years since they've gone to the NFC title game? If they go to the Super Bowl, that's a storyline. Dan Quinn getting to avenge his Super Bowl loss would be a storyline, right? Think about it. Josh Allen finally getting to the Super Bowl, storyline. Lamar Jackson getting over the playoff hump. They said he couldn't do it, storyline. Matthew Stafford going for his 2nd Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford playing in the Super Bowl while the Lions fans watch again, storyline. The Rams with the freaking, are you kidding me? With everything going on in LA, storyline. To be able to go and represent that city in the Super Bowl. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? So Sean McVay, if he wins this game, by the way, the last time the Rams played the Eagles, I don't know if a lot of people know this, at Lincoln Financial, they won. It was 37-19, I believe. And Higbee had 3 touchdown passes caught. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It doesn't have anything to do with anything, whatever. But what would be cool is if the Rams got the Eagles off their back, because this would be the 3rd game that they've played. They lost 2 at SoFi last year and this year. They get the Eagles off their back. Then they go to the NFC title game. They host the NFC title game again against the 6th seed again. Probably the scariest team left in the NFC, just like it was with the 49ers. No one wanted to play the Niners. And by the way, they beat an NFC North team, the Packers, to do it. So they go there again. They play the 6th seed, but get this. Sean McVay then beats the Commanders. Why is that such a big deal? Well, one, he comes from Washington. Sure. No one is talking about the other angle. If Sean McVay gets to win this game, go to SoFi, and beat Washington, that means as much as I love the guy, he gets his revenge on Dan Quinn, who beat him in his first ever playoff game back in 2017 at the Coliseum. If you don't remember that, there you go. It was 27-13, I think, against the Falcons. He has a chance to beat Dan Quinn and get revenge on that. So I'm just saying, that is possible. There's an actual storyline there. If the Rams go to the Super Bowl and play the Bills, they did beat the Bills, but they'd be able to somewhat avenge their banner night embarrassment that led them down to that awful 2022 path. If they play the Ravens, what would be the storyline there? The Rams lost to the Ravens. That was the only loss they had down the stretch. 7 of their last 8. They lose in overtime in Baltimore to Lamar Jackson, the Ravens. They could avenge that loss. And by the way, we'd get Ravens-Rams, which everybody wanted. The greatest show on turf Rams versus the elite Ray Lewis, Ed Reed Ravens defense. Everyone wanted that Super Bowl. It never happened. But speaking of a Super Bowl that everyone wanted that never happened, the Rams and Chiefs, who for the first time since the Monday night game in 2018 would match up where they had healthy quarterbacks. The last time they played, Bryce Perkins led the Rams, kept them in that game, and they ultimately just ran out of gas against a much better Kansas City Chiefs team. The Rams were banged up, and Bryce Perkins threw a touchdown pass, kept them in the game, and then the Chiefs pulled away. But if the Rams get to play the Chiefs, it is the Super Bowl matchup we never got that we would have loved, because Last time these two played with healthy quarterbacks, we saw over 100 points scored on Monday Night Football. So, either way, we are going to get a good Super Bowl. And I hate to break it to you, even if the Eagles win, we're going to get a great Super Bowl. Because if the Eagles and Chiefs play each other, we get a Super Bowl part 2. If the Eagles and Ravens play each other, that's a really good Super Bowl. Eagles-Bills, the LaShawn McCoy Bowl, that's a really good Super Bowl. If Washington plays the Bills, that's going to be great. If they play the Ravens, you got two quarterbacks that are very similar in Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels. That would be great. If the Commanders and the young gun Jaden Daniels takes down Patrick Mahomes before he can win his third straight, that would be great. If the Rams play the Ravens, if they play the Bills, if they play the Chiefs, that's a great Super Bowl. So there are so many options here. But, like, we have to be honest with ourselves. This is the opportunity of a lifetime for a lot of these players on the Rams. Some of these guys might not be back on the team next year. And you get a chance, if you go into Philly, and I don't care what anyone says, you're still going to have a wicked tough road going up against the Commanders after this, and then potentially going up against either the Bills, Ravens, or the Chiefs. If the Rams go into Philly tomorrow, which I believe they're going to, and they beat the Eagles in the snow, there are literally no excuses that you can make against the Rams not belonging. But also another thing I forgot, which I think is funny. Remember when the Saints fans complained about the Rams and all that, playing in the NFC Title game, and then they never let it go. Do you remember that? I know you do, because, man, I went to the Rams game. They played the Saints in week 2, and I remember just all these Saints fans packing into the Coliseum and acting like the Saints were going to just absolutely destroy the Rams, and then the Rams destroyed the Saints. But you know what you might not have really thought of? The reason why I brought the Saints? Because the Rams would be going to New Orleans. Could you imagine Saints fans when the Rams are playing in their stadium? Again, by the way, because they beat them earlier in the year there. Could you imagine if the Rams are in the Super Bowl again? Guess what? The Rams could actually avenge their Super Bowl loss to the Patriots. So there's so many different keynotes here to jot down in your brain, because the Rams can essentially avenge their first playoff loss. Sean McVay, his first playoff loss against Dan Quinn, then can go to New Orleans and avenge their loss against the Patriots, the 20-17 loss the Greatest Show on Turf had. I mean, there's so many things. And that's the thing, is that when you get to this point and there's 6 teams, things start to really kind of, wind down a little bit. Crazy stuff, I know, but I think that, I think that there's just a lot that is, that's in play here. And look, I don't have a preference. All my preference is that the Rams win it all. I don't need to, blow anybody out. I don't need to see them beat the Chiefs. I don't need to see them dethrone Patrick Mahomes, just like I didn't need to see them 100% play the Lions. I did not have to see it. All I care about is that they just get it done and they win. Who cares how it's done, right? I'm trying to find I'm just curious, because we know the Rams. Let's do this here. I'm just curious here. So the Rams have only beaten. They're 2-2 in the series against Washington. They beat Washington to win the NFL championship, their first ever, in 1945 when they were the Cleveland Rams. Then they lost in the 1974 playoffs in the divisional round. They won they won, and then they lost to the Vikings in the NFC title game. And then in 1983, they lost to Washington after beating Dallas in the wild card game. And then they lost to Washington in 86 in the wild card. The last time the Eagles beat the Rams in the playoffs, that was in the 40s, I'm pretty sure. The Rams haven't played the Eagles very often, but when they do play them, so last time they played them, they went to the Super Bowl and they played in New Orleans. They lost, but like the parallels are dumb. The last time the Rams played the Eagles, they went to the Super Bowl and it was in New Orleans. That's wild. That is freaking wild. Anyway, so we got that. And then they beat the Eagles in the wild card. They beat the Giants, and then they lost in the NFC Championship game to the 49ers, 1989. I know that just hurt a lot of you, so I apologize. And the last time they lost to the Eagles was the NFL Championship game in 1949. So, yeah, it's been a long time. But isn't that just so weird? That is so weird. Like, the Rams, the last time they played the Eagles, think about how many years that's been. The Super Bowl was in New Orleans. Like, what are the chances of that? And then we got to bring it up. We have got to bring it up, y'all, because I know people are going to be like, hey, I'm just saying right now. Okay, so the logo, right? The Super Bowl logo. Remember the Super Bowl logo thing? Like, oh my God, like whatever. So here's the thing. We we got the Super Bowl logo. If you guys don't remember that whole, everyone was like, oh, it's all a show. It's staged. It's already been decided based on the Super Bowl logo. Well, let's look at this, okay? So as you can see here, this is the logo. And people say that the colors that show up the least are going to win the Super Bowl. Well, this is like a neon green. And last time I checked, I don't think the Philadelphia Eagles have neon green. But there is some yellow in there as well. And there's a lot of red. I don't think that this is a thing. I know people said it was a thing, before. I mean, I don't think this is a thing. Just like I didn't think this was the thing. But if this is a thing, then it's going to be Bills and Rams. Because, that's the closest thing it is. Like, if this is actually a thing, but this is the official logo, and I just don't see anything there. So the logo theory was always stupid. I just wanted to debunk that. I always thought it was funny, so I figured I'd just throw it out there. But, man, that shit was so stupid. When they were like, yeah, it was already pre-decided for the Rams because they had less of their colors on the Super Bowl logo. It's like, all right, guy. All right. Like, it is what it is. Anyway, let's see here. Oh, Young Forever, thank you for the 2, by the way, if I didn't already say that. Hank Woodmore, thank you for the 5. Yo, Jake, salute my brother. Offense needs to be on point, man. Thank you, Hank. Hig playing will be a big factor. Need Cooper involved. Watch Jalen on third running. That's really the game right there. If this is going to be down to the wire, like I believe, they are going to have to stop Jalen Hurts. Does that mean a quarterback spy? I don't know, but they are going to have to do a better job of shutting down Jalen Hurts. They can't let him beat them with his legs. I watched it. I was at SoFi when this happened. I know what he can do. Jake, please jinx Saquon 3 yards on 19 carries. Thanks, Kurt Justin, for the 2. Thank you, Kurt. Hopefully that jinxed him. I don't think I have anything to do with it, but hey, if it makes you happy, I appreciate it. Better Call Saul. Love it. Thank you for the 2. Cliff Kingsbury, who McVay knows very well, is Washington OC. He is. We shall see. Brian Beadle, thank you for the 5. Hey, Jake, what a season. This year feels like destiny to me. Do you have that feeling? Love you, brother. Hit that thumbs up on everyone. Jake the GOAT. Thank you, guys. Yes, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Brian. I do have that feeling. I truly do. I really do believe it. I believed it before the LA fires, and then after everything going on in LA, I just really think that this team is going to rise up to the occasion, and they're going to win this for the city. I do. Before, I mean, maybe I would say before I started to lean towards, I think the Bills beat them in the Super Bowl. Now, I really think they're going to win. I do. I thought they had a shot last year, and they were screwed out of it by Craig Rolstad. I'll still stay to this day to allow that to, and keep in mind, you don't call that call on Puka Nacua okay. Why are you calling that hold on Rob Havenstein then? That was not a hold. So I just think that, when it's all said and done, I do think the Rams will be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy again. I do think they're going to win it for LA. And I think they're going to play the Bills, but wouldn't be surprised if it was the Chiefs, the way they got calls today. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Ravens. Either way, you are going to have to earn it. You're going to have to play one of the toughest quarterbacks to face right now in Jaden Daniels. You're going to have to, you still have to play the Eagles, who are well-rounded. They really don't have much of a weakness. They have to find a way. And then, going up against a team in the Super Bowl, you're going to either have to play Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Patrick Mahomes. And if you do go up against the Chiefs, you're going to have to play a really rock solid defense, and it's going to be a revenge game because this man was fired by the Rams, albeit St. Louis. Steve Spagnuolo would love to win one against his former team, I bet. In addition to that, Smooth, I'm not looking past the Eagles. I'm just saying what it is. No one here is looking past the Eagles. They need to take care of business. That goes without saying. If it's the Ravens, it's not just Lamar, man. It's, going up against Derrick Henry. Like a guy that can wear you down. He is a problem. Zay Flowers was creating more yards of separation than any receiver in the league the last, 4 or 5 games of the year. He's really come into his own. He gets banged up if they make it, he's going to be a problem. Their defense, they've gotten better and better and better over the course of the year. And then you have, the Bills, and it's like James Cook. We know what he can do. And, Amari Cooper, who hasn't really fully gotten things going, and Dalton Kincaid, and some of those guys on the defensive side. And that's Aaron Cromer revenge game. The Cromers, you still have Zach on the Rams. You have Aaron on the Bills. I mean, that would be, there's a lot of storylines here. Either way, the last 6 remaining quarterbacks, if you were going to go and you were going to pay somebody like, say, Brock Purdy, just remember the last 6 remaining quarterbacks this year are Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen. Just remember that. I'm just telling you. Because those are the remaining quarterbacks. They are here for a reason. And you could say, well, what about last year? Yes. The Purdy that we saw last year, you could have argued to pay. Right now? And also, speaking of paying, let's look up. I'm just curious. Let's look up the highest paid quarterbacks right now. Let's see here. So in 2024, the highest paid quarterbacks are, according to Cash Spent, $86.2 million Dak Prescott, $80.6 million Jared Goff, Jordan Love, $79 million, Joe Burrow, $65.7 million. They round out the top 5 with Joe Burrow. Or no, that's the top 5 with Kirk Cousins, $62.5 million. So top 5, nobody is in the playoffs. Josh Allen is 6th. And then 9th is Mahomes. 11th is Jalen Hurts. 15 is Matthew Stafford. 17 is Lamar Jackson. 20th is Jaden Daniels. So, just saying, not one top 5 highest paid quarterback this year. Cash spent is in the, well, can go to the Super Bowl. So, and by the way, it's either going to be Jaden Daniels, Matthew Stafford, or Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl representing the NFC. It's either going to be Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, or Patrick Mahomes representing the AFC. Just like it's either going to be like the Rams are in the final 3 in the NFC. So it's either going to be the Rams, Eagles, or Washington in the Super Bowl, or it's going to be the Ravens, the Chiefs, or the Bills. Fascinating stuff, guys. It really is. What's the confidence meter at? Are we feeling good about it? For real. Better be. You better be excited, y'all. Man, I'll go as far as to say this. If if Sean McVay wins a ring this year, and I'm just going to look this up to make sure, because I'm pretty sure I'm right on this, but okay. Bill Belichick has the most Super Bowl rings with 6. If Sean McVay wins it all this year, Sean McVay will retire with the most Super Bowl wins in NFL history. Book it. I'm telling you right now. If he wins 2 before he turns 40, good luck. Because you get Stafford. He's learned everything that he's learned going through the pain of a 5-12 season, just barely missing the playoffs in 2019, working with 2 polar opposite quarterbacks in Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford. There is no doubt about it. If Sean McVay and the Rams get this thing done this year and they win the Super Bowl and he wins a second one and he's been to 3 already before age 40, yes, I do believe he's going to retire with 7 at least, and he is going to have the most all time. And the reason I believe that is because there's not a better culture builder right now in the league than I won't say it again. There's not a better culture builder in the league than Sean McVay. I think he's got a great game plan. I think he's working with a GM that he trusts, has a great rapport with Les Snead. He's got an owner that stays out of the way, so he doesn't have to worry about any Jerry Jones interference. The owner's always just going to front the bill. Yes, 7. I believe he'll finish with 7 if they win. If they win this game, I think he's just going to go on an absolute tear. I think they win next year if they win this year. I do. I really do. I'm not kidding, because I just think he's different. I think he's the next Belichick. Like, if he takes care of business this year after what they went through, what's going to stop them when they're able to not get doused in the flames of injury the whole year? What's going to stop them when they're able to get their offense to being a top 5 again? I mean, you got 4 years of most of these guys on the defense that are young, 3 to 4 years that are young and still so good. I'm not kidding you. He had a derailing moment in 2022. If he immediately recovered, like crazy, man. It was crazy. He immediately recovered, and you saw it. 2023, they go 3-6. They win 7 of the last 8. They're robbed in the wild card game on the road. I mean, think about it. Because here's the thing. They're going to find Matthew Stafford's successor someday. I think it's going to be sooner than others because I trust Sean McVay. I trust him to develop. Everyone looks against Sean McVay and they'll be like, yeah, he didn't do that with John Wolford. Yeah, he did. What has John Wolford done since he left the Rams? He turned John Wolford into a priority backup. Well, you didn't do that with Bryce Perkins. Yeah, you did. Bryce Perkins started an NFL game. Like, what? Where is he now? I love the guy, but like he never got another chance. Right? So, and Jimmy Garoppolo and Baker Mayfield, those guys look great in his system. So, just tell me, when he gets a hold of a guy after Stafford that is a first-round talent, what do you think he's going to do? What do you, like, seriously, what do you think he's going to do? Like, am I wrong? He's learned all the lessons. I mean, he's still learning, but he's so far beyond what he was. Sean McVay is one of the greatest head coaches of all time, and he will continue to prove that. Regardless of tomorrow's outcome, he will continue to prove he's already one of the greatest coaches to ever walk into the NFL. He's got the bloodline. He has the total recall. He can rattle off plays that he made years ago. He has had more of an ownership in the defense as of late. And that's the thing, man, when you're an offensive-minded coach and you neglect the defense, it shows up. And Sean McVay has just learned each year, he just puts more and more stock into the defense. He became more of a well-rounded head coach every single year. It's because he's that good. No, he's not the longest tenured NFC coach. Dan Quinn is probably up there. Or longest? Okay, longest tenured, that's interesting. Oldest, no. But longest tenured, that is, I mean, you have an argument there. Like, who would be ahead of him? I mean, let's see. We got Kyle Shanahan, who was tenured just as long as he was. So they would be tied, right? McDonald, no. Gannon, no. NFC East, you got Dable, no. No to Sirianni, no to Dan Quinn because he's only 1 year with the Commanders. LaFleur was after McVay, so no. Campbell, no. No to Kevin O'Connell. We don't even know who the Bears head coach is. Yeah, it's got to be McVay and Shanahan, right? The longest tenured? Yeah, it's got to be. There's not anybody I can think of. No, I think you're right. In the NFC. Now, no, Shanahan and McVay were the same year because Sean McVay was likely going to be hired anyway, but the Rams actually had a meeting with Kyle Shanahan, and he never got to the Rams because of a snowstorm. Fun fact, I don't know if you knew that. Kyle Shanahan had an interview. The Rams ended up never interviewing him because of the snowstorm, and they hired Sean McVay. Well, we're talking about, Andy Reid spent a long time with the Eagles, but we're talking about longest tenured. I'm assuming currently, right? Or are you talking about the years that they coached? I don't know. That's a little confusing, that the word usage. Currently. Yeah, currently it would be Sean McVay and Kyle. Brian, thank you for the 5. Jake, my greatest fear is having to beat the Eagles and the refs. Still haven't gotten over that dirty Lions game last week. Tried to cheat us. Oh, you mean the Vikings? Or last year? Because, I mean, it's too big to rig, right? I mean, you had a penalty disparity of like 10 penalties to 1. 10 penalties for almost 100 yards, so almost the entire length of the football field in favor of the Vikings, and you only got, 2 penalties or 1 penalty? No, it was 1 penalty for 5 yards, and then they had the face mask at the end, which made it 2 penalties for 15 or 20 or whatever. Red Boy Legend 12, thank you for the 10. Was hoping to get our revenge against the Lions, but another home game for the NFC Championship is nice too. Beat the Eagles, go Rams. I could not agree more. I wouldn't have minded revenge. I still think the Rams would have beat the Lions. I think their pass rush would have gotten to Jared Goff, not Jared Verse. They would have gotten to Jared Goff on another level. I think it would have been a nightmare for the Lions, truthfully. I think they, don't get me wrong. I think Jahmyr Gibbs would have had his explosive runs and what have you. The Rams were beating the Lions. The Rams, I think they're going to beat the Commanders. I think they're going to beat the Eagles tomorrow. I really feel good about this team. That said, we'll see. Playing in the snow, things can change. I did not watch UFC tonight. I was not going to pay $80 for the pay-per-view. And I love UFC. I'll watch it next week. Did Moicano have any chance, or was it just bad? Because I wanted Moicano to win, but I put money down. It was like $10 because he was like plus 700 to win. Oh, he got destroyed. Submitted first round. Yeah, I feel bad for the guy. He was so soaked, but I knew when you saw the plus 700, you're like, there's no way. Because you just don't see that. And I figured it'd be very one-sided, but I was hoping he landed good shots, but Islam got him to the ground early. Yeah. Islam is just a freak of nature. You're not going to... Yeah. It is what it is. Hey, the week before, that was great. Mackenzie Dern was awesome. I knew she would win. All you Key Boss fans, I told you Dern would win. I didn't get a chance to gloat about that one, but yeah, no, that was it. I really enjoyed that card last week. This week I didn't watch, unfortunately. I'll watch next week though. Curtis Gomez, thank you for the 5. Since the the Goff/Stafford trade, Rams postseason record 5-1 plus a Super Bowl win. Lions postseason record 2-2. Rams won the trade. Love your content, Jake. I appreciate you. Yeah, if they could get that to 8-1, I'd feel really good about it. We'll just put it that way. But thank you. Brian, thank you for the 2. Both Jake, last year's Lions versus Vikings dirty. Oh, yeah. No, I hear you. I like boxing too. I just, it's not. There's one guy I'm following. He's 19 years old. And I'm hoping that he can bring boxing back. I don't know when he boxes next. His name is Moses Atalma. He's 20 now. Okay. He is a heavyweight, and we love that because while UFC, you can watch lightweights and featherweights and strawweights, and it doesn't matter. Wait, what? I don't think I knew that he had the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. I don't think I knew that. Well, he's 11-0 now. So if you're trying to get into a boxer, you want to find one to root for. Root for Moses Atalma. Now 20 years old. He's 11-0 and has a championship already. That's the guy you should be rooting for. He is potentially the future of boxing. We'll see what ends up happening. I love watching Atalma. I haven't watched him recently, though. I didn't even see his December fight. I'll have to go back and watch that. My all-time favorite is Mike Tyson. Just going back and watching the fighters. I loved watching Hagler, and I liked Holyfield, and there's just so many, right? Watching Ali and, Frazier and so many guys. I think Hagler really stands out to me, but Mike Tyson is my all-time favorite for sure. I like watching Canelo. I've gone out and watched Canelo before. Yeah, I definitely have. Roy Jones Jr. I was never a huge Roy Jones Jr. fan, but yeah, he's cool. But no, I think my 2 favorites, Tyson, and I'd probably say Hagler, and then maybe a Talma at 3. Hot take, Mike Tyson is the most overrated champion ever. I think Mike Tyson was seriously, potentially going to be the greatest fighter ever. His trainer, who was basically his father figure, died, and everything went down the tubes for him. And people started taking advantage of him, and it's a really sad story. I actually think he, in a sense, he's underrated, because I don't think people realize he was so dominant, and then, you know, Customato dies, and it's just like his whole demeanor changed. And all these people just started stealing money from him and taking advantage of him and using him. And he didn't have anybody to trust. And so I just think 100% disagree. Like, I appreciate that, Max, but yeah, and I respect your thought, but I feel like Mike Tyson is almost underrated at this point, because I just don't think people realize just how amazing he could have been, if he had the right guidance. You guys got to put this in the comments so I can go back and look these guys up, because in the chat, I'm not going to be able to go back and find it. So yeah, when this video drops, like, put it in the comment section. I'll look up every fighter you're talking about. I love boxing. I wish it was actually, cool still. It's cool, but like, you just don't have anybody that you go crazy about. That would be good. I'd watch another Canelo fight for sure. I just got in the UFC, so I know who Anderson Silva is, but I didn't watch, I didn't watch Frank Mir. I didn't watch Brock Lesnar. I only watched Brock Lesnar in WWE. Now I don't watch WWE at all, but Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like fun. I'll definitely look into that. I forgot who I watched Canelo fight Triple G last time. That was a good fight. I enjoyed that. But man, this went off the rails. What is it? JE overtime. What were we calling this show? when we do like late night streams? I think it's JE overtime. Who knows, man? I ran out of all those titles and everything. JE After Dark. I don't know. Once again, shameless plug here, if you would be so kind. Would love if you could check out, and the link, of course, is in the description and the chat. It's pinned in the chat. We have 606 subscribers. You guys could do me a favor before you head on out of here, and I'm not saying I'm wrapping up right now. Before you head on out of here, be sure to check out the lounge. I am putting everything I have into this. We are going to get some fantastic freaking guests. We've already had some fantastic freaking guests. As you can see right here, I got Chef Chris, Matthew Stafford's personal chef. So many awesome stories you guys are going to love. I had Ariel Epstein on, who I've had on Yankees Unloaded with Gary. She's great. She talks about, the MLB Network and how she got into that and the NBA TV. Paul from Heavy Spoilers. Where are my nerds at? Where are my Marvel nerds? Where are my movie film nerds? Definitely got to check out the interview with Paul. He was great. And then Lucky Witherspoon. I mean, it goes without saying. You guys know how I feel about him. Akello's father. Talk about music. Guys, if you haven't checked these out, you'd love these interviews. Akello, his dad, Lucky talks about how he turned down the NFL. He literally did not go to a Dallas Cowboys tryout. And then he was going to get I almost said movie deal, a music deal, a record deal with Atlantic Records, I believe he said. And he turned it down because he wanted to raise his kids. So that's that. You guys will really like the interviews. Like, if you like my content, check it out. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon. You'll never miss a video. We are going to have all sorts of guests. I'm still We've had some scheduling conflicts and whatnot, but I still am planning on bringing on Stephanie Nadolny, who is the voice of Kid Goku in the OG Dragon Ball and Gohan. So really excited for that. She's also the voice of Goku Mini in Dragon Ball Daima. I know you Dragon Ball fans out there. I know there's a few of you in here. No doubt. I know it. So you'll enjoy that. And there's plenty more amazing people I'm going to interview on here. So like I said, if you haven't already, I'm going to keep pushing this because we have almost 29,000 subscribers. Again, thank you guys, by the way, because YouTube deleted most of mine. Not really, but they deleted a lot of them. But we have almost 29,000 subscribers, and I have a little bit over 600 on here. So if I could get, I mean, it's not likely, but if I could get as many people as possible to move over to that channel as well, subscribing is free. Really does me a solid. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think. That is that. I won't do any more shameless plugs about the channel for this live stream. I'm going to bring it up every time because I know it's effective, but I wanted to bring it up again because, like I said, I'm invested, man. I'm really excited about this. Allows me to kind of, venture out and do some things that maybe I haven't done in the past creatively. And that's what it's all about. Keep myself fresh and ready to go. And I think it just makes my content better. That's just the reality of it. So, Cinnamon Panos, thank you so much for becoming a rookie member. I appreciate that. Yeah, Max, I picked up on that pretty quickly. I was like, oh, Max Duran likes boxing. I wonder if there's any sort of connection to Roberto Duran, but I don't know if there is, but you are saying that you have the same last name at least. Yes, hit the like button if you haven't already. Almost at 300, got over 570 in here. Update. So as you guys saw, when I was showing you the channel, you could see the channels that I am a part of or whatever. The gaming channel. I'm just going to address this because I know some people have asked me, hey, why are you not gaming anymore? Because it's busy. We're in the most busy time of the year aside from the draft. It is busy. I will start gaming again. Don't worry. I spent a lot of money on this PC that I built. We will be gaming again. We will be streaming on that channel. We'll be building it from scratch, just like we are with the lounge. Don't worry. I am going to game. I'm going to stream. But I can't stress enough, my focus is not on anything other than this channel and the lounge right now. The lounge, I'm getting on, different guests. We have a lot lined up. So buckle up. We're going to have some crazy guests. We already have some crazy guests. And then in addition to that, on this channel, the Rams are in a playoff hunt. I mean, tomorrow, if they win, they're one game away from the Super Bowl. So you guys, question for you, chat. Do you guys like the film breakdowns? Whatever you want to call them. Are they breakdowns? I don't know. Do you like the film stuff? Should I keep doing it? Are we cool with that? Do we like the film? Yes, no. Optics, I haven't played golf since August, but I will be playing golf. Don't worry. I love golf. That is my thing I do with my dad, with my friends. And it just kind of gives me something to not be a shut-in about. Just go out and enjoy the weather and everything. Yeah, I'll be playing golf definitely when film breakdowns are great. Yeah, the film is great. Love the Cup film breakdown. Like the film. Tom Grossi mentioned me today. What did Tom say? I love Tom. Was it good? I assume it'd be something decent, like not negative. Tom's great. We collabed like 2-3 years ago, and I will definitely I'll be reaching out to him to do a collab. Oh wait, the Rams don't play the Packers next year, I don't think. So no collab, I guess. Was asked about you, said you had collaborated. Interesting. Well, that's cool. See, that's cool that he even remembers that. But like, obviously, I mean, we've talked before. I emailed him and all that, so you know, he's cool. No, do you know what my issue is with Film Breakdown? Is that I am able to kind of like, because I am not, as you guys know, I'm not a diehard X's and O's guy, right? There are always people that, you know, have more X's and O's than me. Those channels are entirely dedicated to X's and O's. I do what I can. I learn what I can. I'm not the best X's and O's guy, right? That's clear. But there are plays that I really understand and I can really diagnose, because I am not trying to fake it till I make it on here. I'm not. I don't care who knows it. I've been very honest about it. There are people that know more about the X's and O's than me. For instance, Ian, who, you know, would call in, and you guys know Ian from Rams Up. Ian knows more X's and O's than I do. He knows more about that stuff than I do. I'm not shy. I tell it all the time. But I am informed. I know stuff. And, you know, I know football. And so there are plays that, like, yeah, like I just get kind of lost. Like when I'm doing a film breakdown, I'll, you know, try and like, you know, acknowledge, okay, this is the coverage and this is the personnel grouping. But then I kind of get in the flow of it and I can't continue to do it because I'm not a film YouTuber. So I think that's the thing. I think you have a good player insights that reflects on film. That's definitely as valuable as X's and O's. Yeah, I just, I think for me, I've always wanted to get better with X's and O's, but I think I put such an emphasis on, you know, like I actually watch tape very similar, like NFL tape, very similar to how I watch college tape, because I want to see how guys are using techniques. Because I learned how, like, you know, different positioning techniques, all of that, and that's how I've always wanted it. You know, so I understand it's not like the most X's and O's thing, but yeah, like I like to see, oh, that was a false step, or oh, he had great hand placement there, or, you know, all that, right? The ankle flexion, that it puts yourself in position to really turn up field. Like I know that stuff, and I feel like I really focus on that, the coverages and all that. Obviously, people don't go to this channel for all that stuff. That's a bonus, but that's not how I became who I am. That's not what this channel has become, and it probably never will be that. But it'll be a channel that we do a little bit of everything, and you know, we're always trying to keep it real, and I'm always going to give you my opinions. I'm an entertainer, but I definitely, I feel like I know the game, and I know, you know, player personnel and you know, just the little things. But as far as the X's and O's, I'm not Sean McVay. I'm not. I'll never pretend to be Sean McVay. So, yeah. J6A5Y, thank you for the 2. Call-ins tonight? No, so I've put the call-ins on the table, on the shelf for the indefinite future. Yeah, I was looking at the analytics, and while I love doing it and everything, and it was fun, I was getting too much like drop off, like in my viewership. My viewership was tuning out right when I got to the call-ins, and it's like, I mean, now, you know, I normally have to leave live streams even when I have viewers, but it was just too noticeable for me, so I just kind of moved on, and I will probably bring them back someday. A call-in show is probably more likely, where that's during the off season and maybe it's once a week or something like that. But yeah, I just really want to abide by what the viewers want. And the majority of the viewers, the way it's been spoken through the analytics, tell me that they don't want the call-ins after a post game. They don't want the call-ins when I'm, you know, talking about something like this. They'd rather have it like set aside. So, you know, I'm a believer in transparency. That's why. It's nothing anybody did or didn't do. That's just, that's it. I mean, hey, you go back to when this channel, I'm always trying to revamp, retool, and, reassess this channel, reevaluate this channel. You know how Sean McVay is always like, we reevaluate everything and all that. Well, that's how I am about this channel. Let's not forget the first 3 videos on this channel, the Rams beating, it was a reaction video to the ESPN reporters, basically backhanded complimenting the Rams beating the Seahawks. Instead of the Rams winning, it was, what is wrong with the Seahawks? That was the first thing. The second thing is, what was it? Oh, the second video on this channel was that LaMelo Ball was going to be a star and he should go number 1 overall. And the third thing on this channel, the third ever video on this channel was that the New York Giants were going to win the NFC East. So I'm just being honest here. This is a channel that's evolved. I mean, you go back and you look at my past, videos and you'll see reviews for Loki, okay? Every single episode I reviewed and reacted to Loki. I broke it down. I broke down WandaVision. I talked about MODOK that I never even finished that, right? But MODOK, the cartoon on Hulu, right? I've done so many different things on this channel. And then what really occurred to me was when I was looking at the analytics, I'm like, people aren't being receptive to this. And in turn, what's happening is that when I put, MODOK out there and it gets 46 views, my next Rams video isn't going to be recommended because YouTube's like, what the hell is this channel? They're doing entertainment. They're doing sports. They're talking about music. What is this channel? So I had to pick a lane and stay in it. And so that's what I did when it came to the Rams. I made this a Rams channel. I stopped saying this the 85% Rams channel, and I just stuck down and did it. And the reason I bring it up is because this is essentially when I make these decisions, it's based on the analytics. It's based on me growing and kind of figuring out and reassessing. And that's exactly why you're starting to see film, because I know people want it. I was not surprised when I said, hey, chat, do you like the film? Of course you do. I know you do. I've seen the comments. Why don't you do film anymore? I said, you know what? I'm just going to bite the bullet and do it. Now, to be fair, film is going to be hard to come by this time around with the draft because Exos is just awful. We don't like Exos. Exos Digital is not good. They attack small creators. They strike them. They try to get their YouTubes taken down because they posted a all 22. Okay. I do not want that to happen to me. So whether that's making a Patreon and having all draft film, I have an idea. All right. This is my idea. I had the idea of making a draft video for all the prospects I scout, giving my thoughts on them, all of that, and how they fit with the Rams. And then that would have film in like a Patreon type of thing. So I couldn't get copyright claimed by Exos. So I'd put that behind a paywall, all of that. And then that way people would still be able to see the same video. It would just be without the film on YouTube. So if that's the direction we go in, maybe that's the direction we go in. I wish it was easier. I'm telling you right now, I'm not even going to chance it. These people want to ruin small creators. All they care about is making money, taking our money. And during the draft season, I can't have that. So probably not going to have much film. It's probably only going to be, it's going to be very sparing. Like we might get something here and there, but they are going to come after me if I start posting stuff. And that's the way it is. So, might just look at doing a Patreon for that. We'll see. But yeah, frustrating, man. I wish fair use was actually abided by, but we don't really have a government that backs us small creators. We definitely don't have YouTube backing us small creators against fair use. So that's just the reality of our situation, for better or for worse. So anyway, really appreciate you guys tuning in. I still have over 500 people in here. It's hard to let you guys go, but I got to get ready for tomorrow. long day ahead of me, man. 2 live streams to do. We got the mailbag I'm going to do. I am getting tired too, so got to get the mailbag done, recorded, get that out. But I'm excited for tomorrow. I can't wait. Hopefully we're talking a much nicer tune tomorrow. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty fine tune as well. Thank you guys for showing up and showing out. I did this spur of the moment. I'm not ignorant to the fact I started this live stream very spur of the moment. Now, what I'm going to say before you leave, check out today's sponsor, Prize Picks. Using code JKBogan, you'll get $50 instantly without, as long as you play a $5 lineup. You don't have to win, right? But in addition to that, check out my interview. Rams fans, I'm telling you, if you want something to chew on, it's my interview with Chef Chris. I'm telling you right now. And if there's a way, I'm going to do it right now. I don't know if there's a way to do it, but I'm going to do it if I can. Let's do it right now here. Search videos. We're going to go meet Matthew Stafford. Oh, no, it doesn't work. Okay. I guess I can't redirect. That's kind of lame. Anyway, check out my video. I'll bring it up again. Like I'm telling you, if you're trying to kill time, this is the perfect video to just take in, kill time. This is the lounge. And I got Chef Chris right here. Boom. Check it out. Like I said, give it a sub. All that good stuff. This thing is really taken off too for, how new my channel is. So you need 2 hours to kill. There you go. He talks all sorts of stuff about, how he became a personal chef, how he became a personal chef for Matthew Stafford, what his everyday life is. Talks a ton of Rams football. Why, even after Matthew Stafford's personal chef is going to remain a Rams fan. And it's great stuff. I mean, he's been over 70 games that Stafford's played in. He goes to a lot of the Rams games. He'll be in Philly. He's a great guy. You'll love him. Check it out. Check out that and all my interviews on the lounge. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. The link is in the description and the comment section and the pinned chat. But that is going to do it. So I appreciate you guys for real. You guys are awesome. 24-23 Rams win tomorrow. That is my prediction. I hope to see you guys tomorrow with the shades on, talking about one win away from the Super Bowl. There's nothing that would make me more happy than to be here live tomorrow talking that tune. But that is going to do it. So I appreciate you guys. Please let me know. Drop a comment. And like I said, drop a comment on this video. Give me some pointers. Like if you think I'm missing something in my lounge, tell me. Tell me what you love. Tell me what you don't love. Whatever. But definitely going to need your help, guys, to grow this thing. And like I said, this is the one video, Rams fans, where if you're like, I don't really vibe with what you're putting out there, but good for you. This is the Rams-centric video, okay? This is very, very Rams heavy. You'll love it. You'll love Chef Chris. Check it out. I'll see you guys soon. Take care, folks. Later.